All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back after I've deleted the previous stream. This is the SEA Wheels podcast, where we don't particularly talk about anything interesting. We attempt to talk about cars, but we don't. So, Julian, tell me more about your flight from, where is it, Osaka or something like that?
Yeah, so yes. There was this one time. It happened between Osaka and Seoul. And I just am amazed by and maybe it's part of me being an old fart. Because I'm turning 45 very soon.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the fucking narcissism of people taking selfies all day long and posting this and everything. But this for me in that flight was just exemplified and just pushed, which was, I spent the time, like I was sitting next to a lady. She was on her phone the whole time. It took an hour and a half, right? Because winds were not kind.
Yeah.
It was just like headwinds all the time, and like 500k headwinds kind of thing. So a long flight in the end for a short distance. But the real thing that bothered me was that lady spent the time just touching up her selfies of who gives a shit about you, but just slimming down everything.
Yeah.
Because seriously, she was fat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry to say, it's just, some people are fat, some people are slim, some people just for a second, sorry.
That's okay.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, she was just slimming down on picture and then sending those,
Yeah, look, this is the thing. We live in a day and age of a new economy, right? So I can completely accept that there are people where their appearance is their job and online is their job. And, honestly, man, there's things I really want to talk to you about when we catch up again, or even another day, where, we know online is the new economy. There's everything is more decentralized and everything like that. There's new ways to...
New economy.
When I say economy...
I have to differ. I have to say is the whole, how do you say in America, like everything is possible or whatever, that expression they have in America. It's not for everyone. It's the 1% that actually succeed and really make something of it. And it's the new... the new America, it's the American dream, right?
And
but online, but it's not as easy as what it sounds like. But
But the thing I do have to say is, like, it's a completely legitimate way. I think these ways, we can criticize people all as much as we like about how they'd like to earn money and they're narcissistic and blah blah blah. But we look at it and go, I'm sorry. If we look at, like, music is, if you make it, you make it, and I'm sorry, that's just done online these days. And part of your music is because it's an artistic thing. You do have to have a marketing campaign behind it, and that involves content.
If I may, I am not criticizing the media.
Yeah.
The media is the online platforms. I am not criticizing the media at all. What I'm criticizing is just the narcissism of having to film everything that we do, send it, but then before we send it, just trying to make it look better than the reality is.
Yeah. And that's where
it's the fake segment that I don't like.
And this is and it's
like the rest
and
is
it's
fine.
not just the fake segment, it's the blatantly fake. Like, I don't mind that women touch up their photos. Like, remove a blemish, airbrush a bit. That's fine,
We're not talking about this. We're talking about a woman that had like calves that were like that huge, and just just everything, even her face. And I looked at her and I was like, but it's not her. Sending pictures that are not her.
Yeah.
So get on a fucking treadmill and do something.
And this is the thing. People...
You know what I mean?
People may find this 10 years in the future and be like, oh, these guys are fat phobic and toxically masculine. And I go, I'm sorry, bro. Can you see what Julian and I are wearing? I'm not advertising Puma here, and he's not advertising Adidas. We just both came back from the gym. I live in Indonesia. He lives in Thailand. I'm sorry, we look after ourselves, you know? And this is the thing.
And we do. And the thing is now we're trying to blame this as well, because I don't know if you saw in Australia and also in the UK, they've got those laws now where you cannot do body shaming in advertising. So what that means is that, you need to use fat people for advertising, and that the people who are like, trying to look after themselves, which is not easy, by the way.
It's
not easy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication. And the thing is, I used to be fat, and I actually went through the effort of trying to look after myself a bit more. And the thing is, I'm actually, like so ashamed as a human being for those laws going through when I did the effort of going on a fucking treadmill, and I'm sorry. I mean, you also, Eric. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about your experience, but you went through a transformation of your body as well. And the thing is, we made the effort, and now we need to be ashamed of it. We cannot go to the beach because otherwise it's like, oh, showing a six pack is not good.
It's like, yeah, I mean, seriously, and I look at that and I go, it's like 10 years ago. I just woke up.
It's like the law of the weakest, like we through the weakest, link in the fucking chain.
That's exactly it. And I woke up one day and looked in the mirror and went, what the fuck is this? What is this hunk of crap I'm looking at? So I changed that,
Sorry, just so you know, for all the audience, that was just yesterday and he looked at his dick. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, but it's true. I mean, we put all this effort in to try and like transform ourselves to be something we're proud of. It's like I did something and I achieved a result.
And it's a personal pride. Yeah. And I'm not one to take picture of myself and sending them online. Or there's absolutely no picture of myself, fit or anything, unless it's somebody who posted it for me or whatever. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm not trying to do anything about this.
It's for me, and I'm not. You do it for yourself.
I'm not shaming. I'm doing it. Actually, it's for me. It's for my son. It's for my wife.
And I look at it as well, like
it doesn't go any further than this.
It extends to so much more. It's like people try to. Hey, baby, what's up? Oh, thank you. Single. Don't act single, okay. But there
I love you, Raisha. I miss you.
Julian says he misses you.
Miss you too. Let's party again. Sorry, guys. I've been watching you. I was like, where the fuck is this ring? This has to change.
No, well done.
I don't wear it at the gym because I don't want to like scratch it on all the bars and.
I've got the same. I don't want to scratch it, and the thing is, I'm also afraid that if I leave it in my bag, it might drop or something. It happened almost once that I lost it, so I don't want to do that. But anyway, again, it's not.
I mean, and the thing as well with all of this shit is like. It's like being flipped 180. It's like I should be ashamed of being fit. And the other thing is like, how much? It's like, why should I compensate for your insecurities and mental illness? And I'm telling you, like, fitness does improve mental health.
What you just said is so good. Yes. The thing is also, and I must say, you're so right, because I don't want to offend anybody who have mental illness or anything like this. But seriously, if you feel good in your body, it helps you feel better in your mind. To which extent, I don't know. I cannot tell you. But the thing is, it really does matter. And at the end of the day, what you just said also is just so good, because it's one of those comics as well. I don't remember if it was Jimmy Carr or Bill Burr or whatever, who was just talking about, like, oh, I'm, talking to someone, oh, I'm non-binary and everything, so you need to respect me because, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, they just told that person, so I have to deal with the fact that you're not mentally stable.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not doing any efforts around it, so I have to do the effort for you.
It really annoys me.
It's like,
and if we want to go down this rabbit hole, fuck it, we're down the rabbit hole, so let's go. I look at it this way, like, honestly, bro, like, I sit there and I'm like, all right, if I want to simplify all of this, which is mental illness, I'm going to simplify it. I don't walk into my office and go, oh, everybody needs to know I only have sex with 93 women at a time. If you don't respect that and give me the, I don't know, give me the pronoun of daddy, I'm going to go to HR and get you fired. But I have to sit there and listen to these people go, I identify as a tree and I only sleep with people that identify as deer. Like, I don't care what you do in the bedroom. We're talking... can we please go through this P&L right now? Because we have important shit to do. You know, I hate this stuff. Like...
Yeah, but what are you doing about it?
You know
Shut the
what?
fuck up.
You know
Nah,
what?
I know.
I don't care
thing is,
I don't care what you do outside of work, or because this is what it is. It's become a professional thing. The ESG stuff. I can't remember what ESG stands for, but it's all ESG. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, I can understand this whole idea of being inclusive and diversity because, you know, there has been a lot...
Because it's always been. Yeah. I mean, you and I, especially, we work together. I mean, you know, it was never a question, you know, at work, whether in an interview, and actually even in the composition of the company, it was so diverse. And I've always advocated this in the companies, you know, saying, you know, the market in front of diversity that actually makes a company rich. So there's no question about it for me. Never has been. And in the place of an employer, really never looked at and tried also perhaps to have like the unconscious bias that you may have and try to fight this as well. But the thing is, I've always been trying to work towards diversity because I think, again, and I'm convinced that's what makes us rich, but why make it quotas? Why make it, you know, like a topic that actually annoys people? Why not just try to teach people to be reasonable? It's just about common sense, and there's no more common sense anymore.
Yeah, and
in many ways that I look at, you know, things about that girl again in the plane, just trying to make herself. It's like if I try to make myself slimmer with bigger muscle or whatever. What's the point?
Yeah.
You know.
And see, that's the thing, and this is the irony about the whole thing. It's like we have to respect them for who they are, and generally I do, because you know what, people sit there and people think respect means I have to get on my knees and kiss your feet. No. The reality is, you know what respect is in the real world? In the real world, respect is, I really don't give a shit. Can we just get on with it? That's what respect is. It's like, I don't care if you're 6,000 pounds. Can we just get on with what we're doing? Whether it's whether I'm buying a chocolate bar or I'm trying to do something professional. I'm like, I don't care. Can we just get on with it? But Sorry, but but I mean, if my friends are just, you know, like overweight or something like this, I mean, one of the things I'm the proudest of, you know, losing 25 kilos, but yeah, I'm proud of this, definitely. But the thing is, the proudest thing I am of is convincing some of my friends going to the gym. Yeah.
You know, lose some weight and then, you know, just being and lead a healthier life. I know in this podcast we're just having drinks and things like this, but you know, come on, this is not our everyday thing either. No. You know what I'm saying is that it's just it's a good thing, and we're just trying to bring people forward. I mean, that's what we do in management as well. And again, regardless of whether it's, you know, sexual or spiritual inclination or direction is, I don't give a damn. For me, I have time for people. I have time for one-on-one. I have time for their experience and what they can bring me and what I can bring them. You know, it's just that's the beauty of it for me. And the rest doesn't really matter. I must say.
And that's the thing.
So those idiots.
If I want to break it down, I mean, I actually did a leadership course not so long ago, and they actually talked about why is diversity good. And like, I think you nailed it down. The world is diverse. So, you know, if we're talking professionally, we need to actually not accommodate, but we need to make sure that we're doing things in a way that reaches the largest audience for us to be profitable. And, you know, like, and that's great. And one of the studies, and I can't, like, for the life of me, cannot remember where the study came from. It was some Ivy League university, but it said that they did analysis of teams within organizations. And they said teams that have a lot of homogeneity, they are successful quicker. Teams that are diverse, they are more successful in the long term. Right? And what's been misconstrued, I think, and I think this is probably one of the origins of where all this bullshit started, is people are saying, oh, see, diversity is good, but they've just not gone the full step, because diversity can also harm companies too. And I don't mean like ethnicity or whatever, but you certainly have people that I've had instances in previous companies where I've had team members come across and say, you know, they think they're a protected species, therefore they can do whatever they want.
No, this is when, you know, like,
this is a backfire of diversity.
Until now, I follow your thoughts, and then, then the problem is it starts to drift into entitlement.
Yeah.
And that is the problem.
And that's something that I just sit there, and that's why if we want to
I cannot stand this.
Yeah, and that's why I boil it down into really simple things. It's like, I don't walk around saying that I have a sexual preference of sleeping with multiple women at once. Therefore, you need to. My pronoun is daddy, and if you don't call me daddy, I'm going to get you fired. It's like, no, that's absolutely ridiculous. But you know, if somebody comes up with something very fringe, like, I don't know, whatever. But I have to sit there and call them whatever name they want, pretend they're something that they're not. It's like you're destroying language at the base level, and then you're asking me to believe a fantasy, and it's like, it's like how far are we going to go before we start not paying attention to work? And if we want to look at things like in the business world, even if we look at headline stories, it's like, look at the tech bubble. It's crumbling at the moment. Facebook fired 11,500 people. Twitter fired 3,500 people. Amazon is firing another 12,000 people. You look at it; it's like the tech world is going down the toilet. Reset, yeah, it is a reset right now in terms of tech. And
no, it's a reset to more. I mean, you know, when you look at the valuation of those companies as well, it's just. And
this is one of those things, because a lot of these companies they still behave like startups. And if we want to go down into like more nuts and bolts of things, a lot of the revenue, well, you know, the investment rounds, they ask for investment, but the problem is because a lot of the times they can't actually justify the investments. So where the investment goes is into human resources. So what ends up happening is you're now at a point where you have companies that are so bloated with departments doing very little that could be, at least these days, automated. That they just sort of, they've come to a point where they're like, we are so top heavy, we need to actually start culling and focus on what's actually making us revenue. And, you know, Amazon, a company that does a lot of good and does a lot of bad, especially in a management sense, one thing they did get right is, you know, Amazon Web Services? Yeah. They're basically like a server farm. You know, it's run by 5 people. And it's one of the biggest, and even if we want to bring it back to cars, Formula One uses Amazon Web Services for all their data transmission from the track back to the factories for data analysis real time. I think they're running 10 gig a second fucking wireless transfer. It's fucking crazy. But that whole system is run by 5 people. And it's incredible that they're able to do that. You know what I mean? So I look at that sort of stuff and I'm like, look, you know, as a company as big as Amazon on a global level can run web services, which is basically infrastructure, and 5 people are basically doing all the legwork. I mean, this says a lot about most companies. I think most companies are just hiring people for no fucking reason a lot of the times. In my company, I certainly think I'm top heavy, but I also think I you know, at least you and me, we operate in markets where, you know, the brain drain, where, big companies try to get the biggest talent in to retain them for themselves. But the reality is we work in markets where the biggest talent doesn't really exist. So you have to make up for it in numbers, you know?
You know, we're part of the, what we call the old economy, right? Because, and again, for me, if we talk about this, and I'm still here, even though I'm not on the screen, but the thing is the old economy for me still has so much value because actually there's something produced. I have something to say, like when it comes to, and again, we're just touching on this, the valuation of companies like Google and things like this is just ridiculous. And it's all because they have data. But the thing is, that data is at the threat right now, and it's at a threat because governments more and more are, legislating around this and what they can and cannot do. Until now, they had like a very free fucking playing field of things they could gather and things like this, and this is definitely going to change. It's going to be a lot more restricted, plus all the tax they have to pay and all the optimizations they've been doing. Those companies, and I understand that the data is now more, but to me, I still believe in the old economy. You produce one good. One data is like kind of intangible, sort of. So those companies that produce,
I made this.
the
Do you want to buy it?
GEs,
How do you want to buy it? Do you want to buy it online? Do you want to buy it from a physical store?
It's an actual product. It's a tangible product.
Exactly.
Right now, all those companies, they're making money, whether it's Facebook, like we know all of them anyway, and everybody knows all of them. But the thing is, they're making money out of us.
Yeah.
They're making money out of us 100%.
And that's why.
It's like like when you're online, having somebody, like you don't want at a bar or something like this to have somebody like stalking you the whole time and being behind. This is even worse than this. Like this is even worse. They actually take note and look at you. And they look at you and what you're doing, and they take notes. And this is just insane. I mean, I'm saying this, and at the same time, I enjoy the free service that it gives us. But the thing is, the price to pay is a lot more than what we think it is.
There's a couple of things I want to point out here. All right, so there's the real world, there's the Web 2.0, which we're talking about, and then I also want the Web 3.0. So there's three areas I want to touch on. So please be patient with me. So the tangible real world is never going to go away. There's always going to be people producing a service that needs to be sold. And that's great. And you know what the thing is? You can use the internet to actually provide the in-between of the logistics, the business services, etc., to actually do that. And I think that there's a lot of value in that. For instance, I've been looking very deeply recently into things like drop shipping models. And I don't mean that in a sense of, can I sell like a perfume and, not physically have stock, but can I move products that matter in a drop shipping model? And, I think that's very interesting to go down. And all that is, it's instead of focusing on me having to look at the entire supply chain of everything, it's the manufacturer is producing a product and I can just make it move. And that comes down to a pure business sense and utilizing, the online space to actually help that product move out of a manufacturing facility if I want to bring it down. And I get a fee for that. Simple as that. When we're talking about the Web 2.0 thing, which is you're saying we enjoy the free services, but, we are being farmed. There's one thing to do. There's no such thing as off the grid anymore. But the other side of that coin is you need to be on as many grids as possible. So, if I go to Thailand at the moment, I could go there, put an investment in, pay for my Thai driver's license, go to Europe, speed, and I pull out a Thai driver's license with the squiggly lines on the card and go, here's my driver's license. They're going to look at it and go, what the fuck is this? I'll be like, that's my driver's license. They don't know what to do with it. So there's value in building yourself up to a stage where you're on so many grids that by the time they can try to hunt it down, they're the ones that have lost the money, not me.
You're putting the finger on something that is really true, and it is that on two different aspects, but the innovation is faster than the way we can legislate.
Yes, and this is the next point I was going to say, which is
on the second hand, the thing is on the second aspect is that the thing is that governments also have been really slow embracing globalization when it comes to things like a simple thing as a driving license. It is really two things. So first, the acceleration of innovation that governments are not ready and not fast enough to try and embrace and see. But it's happening now. It's happening.
It is, yeah.
But the other side is like a global citizen like you and I are. If I go back to France, in France, as a French citizen, I'm entitled to so many benefits, right? But the thing is, as living outside and being outside the system, I need to prove that I'm alive.
Yeah.
When I go back.
Yep. Because
I've been outside the system for so fucking long, and I've never been one to profit off of the system as well or anything like this. But at the end of the day, the people who profit from the system are probably better taken care of in France than the people like me. But yeah, it's a very good point that you made.
And that's the thing. Then there's the Web 3.0, which is very much totally decentralized. So it's bridging the gap between the real world and, individual freedoms. And you know what? I'm so interested in all of it, and I'm sort of teetering on the edge. And how can I get into all of it at once? But anyway, I think we've strayed from the topic of cars quite significantly. And
because if we made the right sensible investment, we can buy many cars. So investment is definitely not in cryptocurrencies right now.
I think there's a little bit you and I need to discuss, offline, not sharing all this knowledge, but I think there's some opportunities we can really look into at the moment that's going to allow us.
Happy to share it. But what is your dream car right now?
Fuck, man. I love cars so much. I really love cars.
Money no object. A road car.
This is the thing where I'm a bit odd. I like shit boxes that rich people will never look at, and I also like the rich boy toys. I'm really interested in a Renault Alpine, the A110S.
Yes.
In a country that's got a bit of sanity about the price of cars. They're about $100,000, and I look at that and go,
you can buy them new right now. It's still now, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, $100,000. I like that. It's not a huge amount of money. It's a sensible amount of money. But this is, going back to our conversation of having many residencies, citizenships, or whatever. This is a car I would not buy in Asia because you can't. But I certainly would look at, maybe talking to you a little bit more about where we can store cars elsewhere. But
I want one. My brother is actually moving to Thailand now. So we had some kind of a project at some stage to just because he was living in Japan to have a warehouse where we would be able to store some cars from Japan. But that's not going to happen. So we'll have to find something else. But the Alpine is also another thing that I talked about with my brother, that we might actually just, kind of a shared property at that time.
Yeah. So there's that. And if I look at what's crazy that I want to buy, I mean, there's a lot of Porsches that I like, but it's
something insane.
Yeah, something insane.
A Porsche 959.
I don't know. I think it's ugly. I actually think it's a really ugly car.
But at the end of the day, and you need to watch that video, it's just such a cool car, though.
It is a very cool car.
It's just like 25 years ahead of its time.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Fuck, there are 2 Carrera GTs for sale in France.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
There is this fucking camera. Partager l'écran. And it's all in French, so I'm not.
That's okay. I can actually share the screen to the. I can share it now. So here we go.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see.
Let me close all the porn and everything. Whatever. I don't care. But yeah, 1.5 and 1.65 million euros. Look at those cars, seriously.
You know, the Carrera, like the 959, I was never a big fan of, but the Carrera GT, I'm a massive fan of.
Man, look at this.
I'm a very big fan of this car.
Look at this.
Did you?
It is just.
Did you ever see the?
But it's in front of Versailles as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
And l'art de l'automobile, you know, like the art of automobile.
Yeah.
Look at this, seriously. If this doesn't get you a hard on, then get some blue pills.
It's a beautiful car. I mean, to me,
It's unbelievable.
that's. I mean, I think that price is that's the price of the car. I mean,
I think I'm gonna bid.
but it is a gorgeous car. I really, really like
Fuck.
this car.
I love this car.
Yeah.
Another crazy one. Let's go for another crazy one.
Let's have a look. What's the? I still haven't answered the question of like, what's the batshit crazy car that I'd like to buy?
Batshit crazy car that I would buy. Well, you know, like it's just again, it's part of the definition. What is batshit crazy?
Yeah, I mean, part of it.
Batshit crazy for me would be a 787B. You know, Mazda. Yeah. That's batshit crazy.
Yeah,
'cause
I thought you were
something-
purely talking.
Well, in Bangkok, I could drive it in the streets. Actually, I think.
I thought you were talking about like road cars, but if we're talking race cars, then you know, maybe
No, because
I would.
just because.
I think the Audi R18 TDI. That's one car that for me, you know, the Le Mans racer was in the era where there were so many manufacturers, and I was just like, oh, I love this. So I think the R18 TDI,
okay.
if we're talking like bad shit.
Let's go for an R8 already. Let's go for an R8. And you know what? Let's go for a R8. I don't care about location. With a
Manual or something.
A proper manual, yeah. It's 15 cars right now. I'm French because it's easy for me to navigate, but the thing is also there's a lot of supercars in France actually for sale. And then we're gonna go from.
Why wouldn't there be? It's a beautiful country.
Shit, that is cheaper. This one is cheaper than my. Cheaper than my Mustang.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know what? I really want a nice convertible. And you know what? I would love some kind of Aston Martin.
If you go convertible, first of all, I will blame you.
For what?
Because you're going with a convertible. Because it's a heavier car. Because it's not as focused and as a performance focused as the coupe.
True, but like, here's the thing. Going back to the real world, I live in the real world, right?
You do?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something about the real world in a second, but yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. I want to enjoy a car in all situations. We live in a day and age where we have like carbon fiber monocoques and all this other bullshit. You don't lose any benefit these days. I mean, I even look at the new SL, right? And
Okay.
and I'm like, it's a soft top, but fuck, it's just such a good car. Like, it's gorgeous. You can take the top down. It's quick. Like, it's got prestige, but like, you know, like,
It is.
What's the problem here?
you know, at the end of the day, I'm also myself a monocoque body chassis. But just to get back onto topic, it's a convertible is really hard to use. I mean, even in France, my parents have a convertible. Okay. It is either too sunny, or it's raining, or cold, or too hot to have it happen.
Yeah, okay.
So at the end of the day, what you thought would be, I can use it probably 6 months a year, goes back down to 3 months a year, goes back down to a month and a half, goes back down to a few days a year for the inconvenience of it. Because it doesn't heat up as much, it has a lot more body flex when you're looking at performance. It's in maintenance more expensive. Buying is more expensive as well. What I'm saying is just
You're talking about
for me, it doesn't.
You're talking about a C class, yeah.
And I think you can actually apply it and multiply it throughout the cars, unless you're going to hypercars that actually have a strong enough body that they don't even need the roof anymore to hold.
So how about?
So there's no extra weight.
How about
there's no extra consumption and no extra anything.
So how about something like the Maserati, the MC20, but the Spider version?
It's the same thing, but I think it's going to be the same thing. I mean, if they remove the roof, they're going to have to reinforce the chassis, I mean the base, and you're going to end up with the same problem. And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's going to cost you more expensive or not as convenient. And the thing is, because they've had to reinforce the chassis, not only did they also fucked up the weight distribution of the car.
Yeah.
So they've had to do some compromises, on top of it. And I don't know that car in particular, so you can criticize me all day long if you want to. But the thing is, for me, car manufacturers, they have to make compromises. If you ask them to do something extra, they'll make further compromises. And that's what's happening with convertible cars, unless you go to the super hypercars, blah blah blah, that anyway we cannot afford and that are not Okay, so that's why I would never get a convertible, because it's not usable and it's too compromised.
So the message I'm hearing from you is buy a Carrera GT.
Yeah, because that car was designed from the get-go from this, and this is what I'm just telling you. Unless you go hypercar
or any Koenigsegg, because they're all convertible.
Hypercar. You're going hypercar. I did say this, Eric. I said unless you go hypercar, it's going to be a compromised car.
All right, I think we've just raised the bar. We need
from C class to R8.
No, we need to buy a Koenigsegg.
Exactly.
That's it. We need to buy a Koenigsegg.
Are there any Koenigsegg's for sale?
All right. I mean, you've got to show me. You still are sharing your screen, and I will share it to.
No. There's none.
There's no Koenigsegg's for sale. There are actually, look for specialized car dealers. Hang on, let me. Okay, sorry, internet. This is where Julian and I are actually Googling. We're just Googling now,
There's a few Fiskars. There's 4 Fiskars.
Who gives a shit about Fiskars? Like, what do you want?
There are some interesting brands, actually, I must say.
All right, I have Koenigsegg's for sale for you, right here.
All right, share your screen.
I am going to share my screen, and I'm going to let the world see it as well. Share screen. Fuck, how do I do this? This one, here we go. Share screen. Start sharing. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Here is the list of Koenigseggs for sale.
I wouldn't buy any of them. I think the middle one,
the Regera?
that one is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, but I'm not sold. I'm not sold on those cars.
I
wouldn't, even if I had the money, I wouldn't go for it.
This people call this exposed carbon. It's not exposed. It's got a fucking clear coat on it. That's not exposed carbon. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. This carbon,
Is that how you get away from court? Like just saying, yeah. My dick is clear coated.
But yeah, I look at this and go, it's actually a really nice looking car, but I'm sorry, like, I'm so over this carbon fiber look on everything, because you can wrap anything to make it look carbon fiber, and people might go, yeah, but it's real. And it's like, yeah, but it's ugly. Like, I'm so over this look,
Yeah. Yeah, and when you look at it, even when they say on cars it's just this beautiful carbon and everything, it's not nearly as good as some other industries that actually use it, to
even Formula One cars aren't like this. So why must your road car look like this? Why? See, look at this one here. This one, it looks like cum. So this is your cum Agera. This is nice.
It's. I'm sorry, it's not cum. It's aged cum.
Yeah, it's those weirdos that they come into a bottle and leave it in their fridge for too long, and that's what it looks like. So this is nice. This is very nice.
Yeah, I mean, like looking at it and everything. Yeah, it's fine.
I
just don't want to live with it.
But
I don't want to live with it. I don't want this.
You know what? This is my life, right? I have nowhere to drive a car fast unless I'm going from here to Karangan or something like that. Anyway, east of Jakarta, and most of my driving.
And why don't you?
And most of my driving is literally from my apartment down the big long straight road. I hang a left, go around this giant area called Mega Kuningan, which is like literally a giant circle. And even in my four-wheel drive, I thrash it through there, all the way there, and I go for lunch, and I get shit-faced, and then I get back in my car, and I do all that in reverse, And I go, that's my driving, and I'm like, why wouldn't I want a convertible to go for lunch?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I do that? And this, to me, I go, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I mean, people will be like, "Oh, it's black." Well,
it's beautiful. Yeah. It's everything you want, but it's everything I don't want. Also, it's just, it's not livable. It's. I don't know.
Then buy a Porsche. Then buy a Porsche.
No, I bought a Mustang.
Okay, like similar.
Because it's even more livable.
Similar argument, but like.
It's even more livable, and the Porsche here is just, yeah. The Mustang is actually a lot more livable for me here, a lot more reasonable.
I'll tell you.
Otherwise, actually, I must say I was never gonna go for a 911. I was gonna go for a 458. Yeah. I was gonna go for a Ferrari.
This I have a lot of respect for, the Gamera.
And I think this is what I'm gonna go for next. But yeah, it's an incredible car. Incredible car.
This 3-cylinder turbo that does like 1,000 horsepower. I know it's not 1,000, but shut up. After about 500, nobody's counting anymore. Like, but this is such a nice car, and it's a 4-door.
I disagree, but yeah, okay,
whatever. But yeah, I mean,
not for the engine, for what you just stated about the engine, but yeah, the rest is just it's an unbelievable car. And actually, it looks better.
We've got some prices here. 2.3 million for a Koenigsegg CCX. Honestly, I'd rather buy the Carrera GT. 3.9 for the Regera. Fuck. That's a lot of money.
I
think we're talking.
I wouldn't go for this.
You're talking
Seriously,
Bugatti money at this stage,
Yeah, but even then, I wouldn't go for Bugatti. I mean, with that money again, for the performance and all of this, I'd just go Porsche or. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be that far off from this.
Yeah, I realize that. Yeah.
Usable performance, is what really matters. And yeah, I mean, today I was, kind of not drifting, but like holding the Mustang. It's 460 horsepower.
Is it really?
It's like it's a third of this, But the thing is, you still like this, you're in the wheel, and it's more than enough, driving around, in traffic and blah blah blah, like in usable power.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the ground clearance is actually also very good. So I don't really need to feel like, oh, I cannot go so fast because there might be a pothole that might actually damage the floor of my car. Even if there's and I get it, head on, I'm not gonna damage the car.
Yeah. Understood.
So it's all those things, like it's so much about usable power.
Yeah. I get you loud and clear. And this is why, like, when we're talking about what cars do we actually want to buy, I just go, fucking Alpine, bro. A110S. Like, what?
Yeah, the Alpine.
What the fuck more do you want?
But the Alpine in Indonesia or in Thailand would be like just impossible.
Yeah, true. And
it's too crashy.
And
it's too crashy.
And that's why you look at like German cars and you just go, give me a big fucking coupe or saloon and it's gonna be fine. I mean, like that 430,
that's when,
that your wife drives. I mean,
yeah, the 430. Yeah, it's just a perfect car. And as I was saying, to her, she got into the car and she got into the Mustang and she's like, oh, I need to adjust the seat. Why isn't there a button that remembers my position?
Yeah,
And then she does this, and then she's like, oh, I need to grab where's the seat belt? So it's like grabbing, the 4 Series, like it brings the seat belt next to you, and then you just put it there, and then it just remembers because you have the car key, the position of the seat, so it will readjust the seat automatically, and blah blah blah. And it's just,
And you know what?
And I said, the 4 Series is a polite car.
It is.
But I love the fact that the Mustang is raw.
Yeah, I get you.
Even though I had to get it in a, if I had to get it in an auto box, which is a CVT at the end of the day, which is not perfect, but
yeah, but it fucking works, man. Like it's not
for me it works.
It's not the 80s, bro. Like. Even if people complain about gearboxes, I mean, like, fuck. All right, then buy a Buick. And then tell me how much you hate the gearbox,
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really happy with that choice. It's usable. I think next is going to be a Ferrari, and I think it's going to have to be actually. Right now, I would have bought it for 458, sorry. I think the next one in about 3 years is going to be a 488.
Yeah.
GTB.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the F430s, but they're so expensive now.
The thing is, it's all about the service also I'm thinking about. Yeah. So they're not here. The thing is, here in Thailand, because of the taxes, right? So you pay around like 4 times the price of the car. So they don't depreciate so much, but also they don't go up so much.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. So let's see.
Yeah, understood. I was thinking, like, if I was talking realistic cars that I'd look at here, just because there's no roads to drive them. I mean, at least you've got big highways that you can go between cities and, like, put the floor down.
Here
you can't, because, I mean, even if I go from here to the next biggest city, it's like 120 Ks and it takes me 4 hours because of traffic, So I was like, what's a realistic car that I can still enjoy here? And I'm like, either the new 86, or the
Nissan 400, the Z400.
They're not here yet. So I was like, either the new 86, which actually still isn't here yet either. Because I just buy a second hand. Because, like, even a second hand car here that's like 5 or 6 years old has less than 10,000 Ks on it because I just can't go anywhere.
Yeah, true.
But then there's also, I was like, maybe like a.
They should actually, like, like it should be the hours of, rather than the kilometers, it should be the hours.
Well, that's
of
how
the engine on, like you do with planes.
Or race cars. They measure hours. They don't measure Ks.
Yeah.
Yes. But then or even go-karts are measured in hours. But I was thinking maybe even like I could look at like an M140, something like that.
Yeah.
I thought that's still like a neat little coupe.
Well, remember, for me, it was a bit of a choice. I mean, at the end of the day, eliminating all the cars with the budget that I wanted to spend and blah blah blah. That was the M2 or the Mustang.
Yeah. Sorry, M240, not M140. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Actually, you won't like it, but the Z4 as well. That's actually really nice. The new Z4.
Yeah, but then I'd go for the Toyota. Again, because the roof up. That's actually I saw it again today, and I had this thought, because I saw the Toyota Supra today in the streets, and then I saw just later on, like just I don't know, 30 minutes later, I saw the Z4, and I was like,
It's a neat car. It's a neat car.
I would always go with the roof on top.
I was the same for a long time, but now I live in a place where it's like I can't even drive that much.
You've turned into a pussy.
Fine. Call me a pussy. I don't care. I just don't. I don't care anymore. Like, great. Oh, I'm a pussy. I'm a pussy.
I'm kidding.
But it's a nice car.
No, I understand.
We know
it's a beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. Actually, I must say.
And we know how BMWs drive. So.
Yeah, but with more I mean,
the problem is, how much is a Supra? Let's say in Australia, like, well, how much are they charging?
Here I know the price. Yeah,
let's call it $100,000, between 110, 110, something like that.
Yeah, here you're looking at 200.
Yeah, it's $230,000 in Indonesia. It's like, I'm not buying that. Like,
why not?
Why wouldn't I just buy the Z4, which is half the price?
The thing is, like it's you have to look at it the other way as well, right? You're gonna spend that much, but then the depreciation will be quite slow.
There's no depreciation here. There's none. I don't understand it. So, I was looking at Boxsters, right? I was looking at Boxsters, and like a Boxster from 2012, 10-year-old car. So it just hasn't depreciated.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it as how much you pay for it, if you have the money, because the thing is, at the end of the day, if you buy it day 1 and you sell it day 3, it's gonna be costing you that car only that much. You know what I mean? It's not, and that's the way I've been thinking about, and that's why I bought my Mustang brand new, because when I looked at the price after, I was like, no, it doesn't matter. The depreciation is too little. I might as well buy a brand new one.
You'll lose what?
Like
second 20 grand max? But in the meantime, you've made all this money and you just go into a Ferrari?
Yeah, but it's the 20 grand is over like 4 years old car that has 75,000 kilometers on it. And I'm like, no, doesn't matter. I should just buy a new one and lose a lot less over the time spent.
Yeah.
Because I will sell that car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to think about it a little bit more. Okay, what am I doing financially?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you want to go a step up.
And we live. And this is a weird thing in the countries we live in. We can't write them off as business expenses, unless it's legitimately a.
In Thailand, you can.
But here I can't.
Unless it's.
You don't.
Well, actually, in Thailand, you can actually write off in a Ferrari and things like this. You can do it.
Like I need to start a pretty sizable business to be able to charge a Ferrari to a business and say it's a marketing expense. Whereas
the thing at the end of the day, you don't want to do it right now because you're in an international company. But
I'm not going to do. I am not doing it for a public company. I'm doing it for something else. I start on the side, like it's.
Yeah, exactly.
And even then, it still needs to be like I can't have a car that's costs more than my turnover. So, like, it's.
Here in Thailand, you can.
Oh, really?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Indonesia's complicated. It's a great country. I enjoy living here, but it is complicated.
No, here in Thailand you can. That's a good thing. But regardless of all this, I saw a few Maybach lately.
Which ones? The originals or the?
No, the new ones. The S-Class Maybach.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of that GLS Maybach. It's nice.
Love it.
It is nice. I look at. At first, I thought, why would anyone buy this? And then about 6 months later, I'm like, why don't I have one?
Yeah. It's just such a good car. Just give me a second. Worries, I'll be back.
But I think one of the things before we had to cancel.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we are. We're live still. But before we, I think we need to touch back on the previous stream, like before I had to cancel it and kill it and all that stuff. I think we really need to touch on things like the Le Mans series upcoming, with the amount of manufacturers that are entering in the hypercar class. There's LMD and LMDH, and I think that's got to be an area because. Look, Julian and I really love Formula One. And it's a bit like, people, there's football fans, they never miss a game. We're a bit like that with Formula One, except if it's like in US or South America, then it's like, I'm not watching that shit. It's just like at fucking 3 a.m. Fuck that. I'm not getting up. But with, I really need to Google here, like what's the hypercars going to be? Because there's so many new manufacturers. And Toyota has had so much dominance in there because all they've had is Toyota and Glickenhaus and, Alpine with their LMP one that's been grandfathered in. So I'm going to look at hypercars Le Mans 2023. Let's see who's entering. Okay. Let's see what cars are ready for next year. Well, not ready, but getting there. So what do we have? We have the Ferrari. Ferrari are going to be entering endurance racing again after a 50 or 60 year hiatus. Cadillac will actually, let me share my screen, my friend. Let's do that. Start sharing. Can you see my screen? You can see my screen. Perfect. So what we have is
it's a Ferrari.
We have Ferrari coming in, which is going to be fantastic. We do have Cadillac entering too, which is going to be quite cool because they've always had endurance racing presence in the US, but now they're looking at international, and they don't even sell international. So I think maybe in the UAE they do. Porsche, the 963.
Porsche is just an incredible brand.
It is, yeah, and they're teaming up with Penske. But this is the funny thing about.
But they're the Balenciaga of fucking cars. Also, yeah. I think they're too expensive.
This is the thing with the supercar or hypercar class. I think most of them, they're not entering as a manufacturer; they're entering as customers with customer teams. So Ferrari is entering with AF Corsa. Cadillac, no idea.
Okay.
Porsche is entering with Team Penske.
Okay, so they're trying to just what?
Well, it's going to be customer cars again.
If they lose or if we win, right?
Yeah,
sort of thing.
They still get the benefit out of it. I think Honda is looking at entering. Let's have a look.
It would be good. Honda is good.
What is it? Hypercars Le Mans. What manufacturers are entering?
Isn't Alpine going in?
They're already there.
No, Peugeot, right?
Oh yeah, Peugeot, the 908 XX. That's true. So
yeah.
Cadillac is in.
That was a successful car, actually, the 908, the original one.
Yeah.
So
it's So what do we have? We have Acura, so Honda, joining Alpine. They're in there. They're gonna. The problem is the Alpine is actually an LMP1 car that they've tried to make compliant. Audi's coming in. BMW. Oh, we forgot. BMW have got a car.
They do?
Yeah. Have you not seen the BMW hypercar? BMW.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god.
No, I haven't.
My god.
And I'm a big BMW fan, so.
You don't remember this?
I'll probably be supporting this.
You don't remember this? Look at that thing. That is
definitely a BMW.
That is definitely a BMW. So
I think that's when they went with that design with the big open mouth, just to say, "Oh, this is discreet."
But this is the thing. Like with BMW, you look at it and go, they haven't had. I think it was Sauber was with Mercedes in the 90s, and then they went to BMW. Remember that BMW they had for a short period of time?
Sauber was with Mercedes at the end of the 80s, yes.
Yeah, and then they switched to BMW, and then Mercedes went full factory. So that's the BMW hypercar. Let's see what else we got. Cadillac, obviously, you know. Ferrari.
It's a bit too much. It looks a bit busy.
Glickenhaus, the underdogs. Glickenhaus are there. Peugeot.
Nice.
Peugeot, of course. I mean, how can we forget Peugeot? The Porsche is there. And Toyota. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great race.
It's gonna be fun. I think we need to cover it as much as we can. This one.
I think we do. I think it's gonna be a...
So what's the calendar? Can you post a link to the calendar to in the comments below?
Yeah.
To see what's happening, like the first race. But that's 2024, isn't it? Not 2023.
Summer in 23. The cars I read now. The cars I read now for 23.
I mean, we'll race
but you have to remember, there's cars like Lamborghini, which is 24. Lamborghini is entering 24.
That's what I mean. So
what have we got? We've got the prologue, 11th to 12th of March in Sebring. Then we've got 1,000 Miles, which is in Sebring again, which is the 17th of March. Portimao.
Oh, let's do it, mate. Let's do it. Let's cover it. But let's actually, we should create our own calendar as well.
We should,
Eric.
And then we've got Spa Francorchamps, which is Spa. Come on, 29th of April, and then
Spa.
June, 10th of June, Le Mans.
We're gonna get some hail and some.
It's a nice calendar, but the thing that's interesting is they don't have Circuit of the Americas anymore. It's all at Sebring, so it's like Sebring, Portimao, Spa, Le Mans, Monza, Fuji, and Bahrain. Let's go to Bahrain. Why don't we ever go there? We've never been. We should go.
We should go to Fuji, man.
Fuji. But it's every fucking year it rains. Do you think I want to go spend all this money and then stand in the rain?
Not in Singapore already, haven't you?
Yeah, true. I did do that for Singapore earlier this year. Yeah, that's true.
Fuck.
That was brutal.
It's the wrong time of the year to organize that race.
Yeah, it is. It's the rainy season. But they try to lump all the Asia stuff together.
Same thing with the MotoGP. I mean, it was the same weekend in Thailand. It was just like a nightmare. I mean, not the nightmare, but they had to delay the race and blah, blah, blah because of the rain.
The race was only 2 hours delayed here. In Singapore?
Same with the MotoGP.
But yeah.
Same with the MotoGP, but the thing is, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah. I think that
we haven't talked so much about cars. What are cars that are coming out?
It's a good question.
Right now.
That is a very good question, my friend. What is coming out? What are we excited about? Well, there's a lot of what are they called? Safari cars, or two of them. The Porsche Safari car.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen a picture of this one. Yeah.
And
it's fucking ugly. We're going back to counter stance cars. It's a cycle, I guess. Of I like stance cars, low cars, and now we're going back to the high cars that can actually go. That will never go anyway. That's the only people who will buy those cars will put them in the collection and never use them.
But they're all limited edition anyway. But that's the thing. Like, so this is the Porsche one.
Yeah.
The Porsche Dakar or whatever they're calling it. And you know what? They have the heritage to do it. And I think they have every right to go ahead and do it. And
no, they should. Don't get me wrong. They should.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's definitely not the car that I want to buy.
But you know what?
The thing is, their customer base, 99.9% of the Porsche customers, and you can see them here as well. They'll never even go up a sidewalk with their cars.
But you know what?
I'm not talking the 911, I'm talking the Cayennes.
But you know what? All of these will be sold out immediately. I think they're only doing like 250.
Of course
they're
will.
going to be sold out.
but
But here's
they will also never be used.
But here's the reality. This will be the best street Porsche ever. Because you don't have to go, oh my god, there's a leaf on the ground. I better raise the nose. Like this, you just go fucking...
They're not that bad.
No, I know, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be, like, nervous about a driveway.
I know what you mean, but no. Fuck this.
I think this car here is going to be the best street Porsche ever because you can just fucking not give a fuck and just go.
This is not a car coming from the engineers. This is a car coming from marketing.
Oh, absolutely. But, like, you know...
Like... Let's sell more. Let's please the shareholders. That's it. That's all.
This is what Porsche does. They go, this is a 911, and then they add a letter, like 911T. Oh my god, we have to buy it. 911R. Oh my god,
exactly.
we have to buy it.
Yeah.
You know? They do one change and they call it a new car, and they put it on a limited production run. They'll sell them all.
Yeah.
Like,
and they've done really well with doing this. You know, at some stage. You know, everybody's now fucking tired of the iPhone every year.
Yeah, but
who gives a shit about the iPhone every year? You know,
nobody
it's just
nobody is passionate about an iPhone, right? Nobody is passionate about an iPhone, right?
Because they've lost it.
Know, they used to be because it offered
it.
But everyone realized that Androids have more features, and it's like, I'm not passionate about this. I just have it because I use it to record music. That's it. I'm not passionate that I own this.
No, but what I mean is that Porsche is going the same tangent in some ways.
I mean, it is
just trying to pull so much out of this.
It's pulling from its heritage, which I have no problem with.
I'm sorry. Okay, and I understand heritage. At the end of the day, no one is going to be driving it like we see in the picture right now. No one.
You know who will? Somebody who bought two. They'll put one for keeping it nice and one for fucking thrashing it. But you know what?
Well, that gets me back to telling you to listen to the estimation of the collection, because many times he actually bought two instead of buying one of the cars. He just bought two. Yeah. One he could put mileage on, and the other one to just keep
I love every time they make most companies are making a hypercar. They have the option to buy another car, like the 918 Spider. Oh, you can buy this special edition of the 911 Turbo with a special paint job. Oh, really? I'll just tick it. And you know what? Every single person that bought a 918 new or had an allocation did it.
Yeah.
So they ended up buying two cars.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Mercedes.
Mercedes did the same thing with the
AMG
one.
one. Oh, you can buy this AMG GTR, but you get a special paint job. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
They bought two cars, not one. So they ended up spending $3 million. It's just mental. But if we're talking about interesting upcoming cars, here's another one. The Huracan Cerato. This is a genuine what the fuck.
But this is such a marketing thing.
Yeah. Like, what? What the fuck?
They're all doing it at the same time, which means they have met and said, oh, let's launch a campaign. We're going to be doing, off-road, whatever thing. They have met for this. It has to be. Because otherwise they wouldn't do things at the same time. I'm sorry to say it's sold very crooked, but and then people are gonna buy it because everybody's going this way, so everybody's gonna think, oh, we should go this way. It's not true. We should not go this way. There's no way this Huracan is gonna go off-road.
No, it's not. But it's cool.
It's never gonna happen.
I'm not gonna lie. It's fucking cool. It is fucking cool.
I'm sorry. I'm not into it. I think it's just too much of a marketing thing. And at the same time, as I said, if Lamborghini is doing the same stuff as Porsche, of course they're part of the same group, so they've talked to each other. Yeah. They're just, this is shaping the market.
Yeah.
They're just making this thing cool.
Yeah. True.
And just making people think it is, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's not. It's fucking shit. You know, if people want to go off-road, they would actually use their fucking SUVs.
And they don't even do that.
And there's SUVs that are... No, but the SUVs are worthless. Anyway, they're not good at off-road. And, you know, everybody's buying it anyway. Everybody's buying a Cayenne or, you know...
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Purosangue.
What about this?
Yeah. Same thing.
This thing, the Purosangue. But they specifically said it's not an off-road car.
Yeah. This is the specifically said whatever marketing said they should not say, because we don't want to go against the trend of what's happening. That is a forming trend coming from, and that we'll see whether they get fired after a year or two, whether that worked. But at the end of the day, call it what it is, and also be sensible. Stop taking people for fucking idiots, because it's gonna last only for so long.
Dude,
and they have it's the fucking iPhone. Apple is the most evil company in taking people for idiots.
Yeah, but you know what?
Here's my new iPhone with my new features. You need to buy it, and it's, you know, going from $700 10 years ago. Now it's $1,500 because it's so much better, and now it's $2,500 because it's so much better. And you need to buy it because you need to be into the hype of people who actually can afford that thing, because it's come on. It's taking people for granted, taking people for idiots.
All right, hang on.
The car industry is trying to follow as a trend. I'm sorry to say.
I get you.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah. But if we want to talk about heritage, Enzo Ferrari.
Yeah.
Enzo Ferrari built cars to fund his race team. Yep.
Yes.
But Enzo Ferrari never drove hardcore cars on the road. He drove GT cars. Comfortable cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably say, if you really want to make a stretch, this is in vain of fund the race team and give me a car I can just enjoy on the road.
No, I disagree, but yes. Okay.
Because, let's put it this way, nobody does Grand Tours anymore. They just fly, right? So the equivalent is the daily. So if we're talking about a daily prestigious car, we're talking about this. I'd never buy one, but...
I don't know. I disagree with this kind of car on so many levels.
Yeah.
The first one is performance. The second one is it looks good, but it doesn't look nearly as good as a pure Ferrari is looking.
I agree.
It's just it's just trying to follow trends. And yes, Ferrari has been a bit longer to go into it because they didn't want to be trying to be perceived as catching the trend, probably. But the thing is, at the end of the day, they're shit cars. You know, at the end of the day, what really matters for people who like to have performance, they want light. A light car, big engine, that's it. You know, that's it. Not all those fucking, like systems and blah 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 and colors, and we don't care. Give me a car, it's a black car or red car or a yellow car, about the color. Just give me something that is light with a good engine, good handling. That's all I want. And then they just make those things for people who are like people who have too much money and not enough
sense. Yeah,
I wouldn't say taste. Actually, you're right. It's sense. They just want to go around with a Ferrari.
Do you mind if I try an experiment?
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
Of course, any experiment.
Give it a few minutes. Oh, we're going to start the experiment now.
Yeah, I might be completely wrong in my analysis, but the thing is, yeah, most people who are going to be driving this will be people who have no idea how to drive, no pleasure in driving, but just the pleasure of showing to everybody else they can afford that fucking thing that is just completely against
the experiment is starting
the whole spirit of.
Oh, okay. Forget suspend what we think. Let's start the experiment. Call him back later. That's the microphone. All right.
What's up?
Sit down. Be on the podcast.
Get naked.
Get naked.
No.
Ah, sorry.
So, do you see this car on the screen?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
It looks cheap.
Really?
Well, like my eyes, like from there, I thought literally it's just like a Mazda. And then
A Hyundai. Or Mazda, yeah. Okay.
And then like I looked closer, I didn't have my contact lens, and then I was like, is that a Porsche? But looks basic. But he texts me, no, this is Ferrari. I'm like, okay, why? This is like for me that don't know shit about cars. But maybe in other color, it might be different. Because this is basic color. Why are we talking about this car?
Okay, I wanted your opinion on what do you think of this and would you buy it?
No.
Pretend you have other cars, like supercars already. Like your husband has another Ferrari, like a cool Ferrari sports car.
Can you see in the front?
Yeah.
This is
well,
like
only if you marry me then, Rachel.
Well, in my religion, you can have 4 wives, so it's doable. It's doable.
She'd be my number 5.
Damn. No, it's okay. It's actually good, but like, how expensive is this?
It's not about price. It's like, what do you think? Like,
oh, I like the door.
Suicide doors are always cool, yeah.
But also the Rolls Royce one. So.
Yeah, the one at the back. That's what they call the the ones that you open from.
How's
the
the
BPLR.
interior? Can I see? You guys just talking about cars for 3 hours?
Yeah. We could go on for another 12 hours.
No, I would like to borrow
Sorry,
Eric
12 days.
Oh, that's nice. I like the interior. I think it's nice.
Don't worry, I'll put Eric on vibrate when you need him. But yeah, look at this. Yeah, it's beautiful interior.
Yeah, I like the interior. Is it expensive?
yes, it's a Ferrari.
Of course, it's a Ferrari.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's not gonna be.
It's not like
actually,
so much. It's
I
not
would
so
say
much different with your BMW though, like the interior.
with mine, no, this is different. It is a level up. But the thing is, at the end of the day, for me, it's really wouldn't be a car that I would buy. This car.
That you really gonna buy? You said.
I'm really not gonna buy.
You're really not gonna buy. Okay, like it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Yeah, probably this one I wouldn't even be able to afford here, given the taxes. But the thing is, I wouldn't buy that car. It's just it's against the purpose of it's just too much compromises, just to be more a marketing gimmick than anything else.
This is still sport cars. If you can still bring your kid at the back.
It's whatever it is, but in my view, it's not. It's too much of a compromise. As you just said, can you or not do this or whatever, and it's 4 doors or 5 doors or whatever. It just doesn't work for me.
Okay. Well, that's my opinion.
think.
Opinion though. I still like a pink Rolls Royce. So.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
And then with the
I love the
sparkling
suicide part.
roof, like the lights roof. Yeah, that's me though. But I don't know. I know nothing
But
about cars.
this I already get in my 7 Series, so I don't really need another car to have this.
Yeah, you don't need to. So yeah. So exit all of this and then end the call. See you never. Kidding.
You're talking about the car or about me?
I don't know, this whole podcast. This is still online?
Yeah, it's live.
Okay. Oh.
Yes, we're still online now.
All right, then I'm gonna give it back to Eric, and I will prepare all the bags. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, I will lend him for another 5 minutes, because the grocery store gonna close in 2 hours.
All right,
Okay.
it's enough because I need to have dinner as well. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Are you hungry though?
Anyway,
Okay. Anyway, really nice to meet you. I really hope that
good to see you.
we can catch up soon again.
Very soon, and on better cars than what was shown as well.
What?
Using better cars than what was shown just now. Those Ferraris are not good.
All right then. I heard that.
So I'll get better car for us.
You mean the Mustang?
The Mustang is not comparable to this.
Oh, okay. So
We should go-
surprise
Should go with
us
something
then.
different. No, I think it's gonna be 7 Series and the Mustang.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't have much more to offer.
All right then. All right. This is Eric, and then see you soon. Yeah.
See you soon. Take
Bye.
care.
Say hi to everyone at home. Bye.
Will do. Come back soon.
Yes.
Okay, my experiment didn't go so well.
Yeah.
The-
No, she's right. It's a shit car.
She was like, it was a Mazda. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, and
It's a
actually,
Mazda.
you know, she's not wrong. I was, I wanted to say Hyundai,
Yeah. Okay.
and it's not so wrong. It's not so wrong. You know, the only difference is the badge, and the badge is.
Well, I embarrassed myself on the internet, and that's okay. We're allowed to experiment and play around and see how things go. And the answer to the question was, can I have a pink Rolls Royce? So I guess I'm buying a pink Rolls Royce now.
It's more classy than a freaking SUV Ferrari. I know they're
Absolutely.
gonna, people are gonna jump on this because you can see so many here, the Lamborghini, whatever, the
Urus.
what is it called? That Euros, yeah. Fucking disgrace, this thing.
I saw.
I mean, it looks good and it sounds good and all of this, but it's a disgrace. I mean, seriously,
I saw one
it's a
for
disgrace.
the first time, and
It's a
I looked
disgrace.
at it and went, "This is not nice." It looks plastic.
It's not as bad as a Bentayga.
I love the Bentayga. I'm
Well, you
sorry.
look at
I
it,
love the Bentayga.
It looks like shit. But it's just oh, let's follow the trend. And this again is like marketing people. It's just, and they're just killing the brands doing this.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're taking advantage of this because very soon, anyway, the new generation that wants the LGBT UK blah 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 are not gonna care about cars, and the car industry, the industry is gonna crumble. And
It's not
die.
going to crumble. Let's be real.
which
Let's be real. It's not going to crumble.
It will. They'll have to, change things and everything, but there's not going to be cars anymore. If you look at overall, it's going to be about public transports and bikes and things and blah blah blah. It's all this is gonna die at some stage, and so they're just trying to make the most they can do about it because they know very well what's going to happen, and they're just trying to do why not the fucking Bugatti 4-wheel drive SUV, everybody's buying
Well, they
SUV,
did that. They
why
did that
not?
a long time
Like an
ago.
executive SUV,
They did that a long time ago.
and
already.
With the Lamborghini, you mean?
With the Bugatti.
The LM1. Oh, I haven't seen the four-wheel drive they did. I mean, like the.
Well, they did a 4-door.
I'm not talking about the AB110, yeah. But anyways, what I'm saying is that anyway, all those companies are just following trends rather than being true to their own brand, and then that's gonna kill them because if you don't stay true to what you did and do well, then yeah.
Well, Porsche.
You lose your bread.
Porsche is adapting nicely. But you remember this thing?
Yeah. Because Porsche, yeah, no, I don't actually. I've never seen this thing.
Yeah, so this is the Bugatti 4-door that they did a little while ago.
Yeah, but it ended up being, I mean, seriously, when you look at it, it ended up being
It was a concept.
Porsche Cayenne.
It was a concept. Yeah, I think it did, but yeah. They actually did.
I don't so not the Cayenne, but the whatever they called it. They
Yeah.
call it there's the Cayman, there's the Cayenne. What is the fucking GT car they have? The
Panamera. Yeah.
It ended up being Panamera. It's a Panamera. So yeah, it's okay. Very good. Very well. Well done. Bravo. You're just taking on all the trends, and you've done very well. But at the end of the day, anything you do is not really interesting anymore, unless you tell us you have a new 911 GT3, because that's all that we look at.
Yeah, exactly.
Or all that we look at, because that's all that we care about, because the rest of it is not for us, and it's for other people, and it's probably a bigger population anyway. So again, it's about marketing. It's fine.
Yeah,
we shouldn't criticize for this, but yeah,
that's very true. But hey, let's maybe, for some reason my camera has died. Oh no, there it is. How about we call it there? I have to do grocery shopping.
I've seen enough of your face.
I have a grumpy person here, so I need to sort that out. So yeah. All right, people.
Are you talking about me?
No. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.